Let's hear what you have to say.
We've got Susan on line 1, who's a teacher.
Susan, good morning.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning. So, well, as a teacher, help me out here, first of all. Is there a new emphasis on well-being of children at school that is perhaps damaging them?
I don't think it's so much at school. I think there are certain schools that do that.
Right.
But I do think that it's sort of... We always seem to catch things from America 10 years later.
Yeah.
I worked in America, and there is this thing that you've got to constantly praise your kids. And kids who are constantly praised, it's the balance again. You've got kids who are be and shouldn't be. You've got... You know, it's keeping the balance. If you constantly praise your kids, and there are quite a few parents out there that do it and think they're doing the right thing.
Can you give me
with children?
Susan, can you just give me a hand here, right? Just in terms of scale, using your professional best guesstimate, what percentage of children out there are being indulged who aren't getting any sense of failure?
Do you know what? I'm not going to put a figure on that. It is too difficult, and it's not indulged. Those parents really think they're doing the best for their children. That's the difficulty. But
I mean, are we looking at almost half, 10%? Just
feel they're doing the best.
Just roughly help me out, because I have no idea. And the ladies on the panel are kind of suggesting that in their experience there's none or very few.
And the gentleman on the
panel. I would say, I don't know. It's not a massive amount. I think England is still a lot more sensible in that way. But I would say 5–10%. Okay. I would say with younger parents, very younger parents, it's a lot more.
Susan, how would you...
You know, if you're reading all the right books or the wrong books or whatever you want to call them.
Susan, can I ask you to compare it in terms of scale, just with the problem of parents who don't, you know, tell their kids anything, who don't, you know, spend time with their kids, who don't tell them they're good at anything? No, she's not going to.
Didn't Diana, wasn't she very supportive of her 2 kids? And didn't she say that was because in the real world, and these guys are princes, that they're going to have a rough life. And she felt she did as much as she could. She tried to be as normal and supportive a mother as she could for them. Yeah. Because they're going to be sent out there to suffer.
And what do we get? A boy who wears pink nail varnish.
And again, loves putting a swastika around his arm.
It's a shame we couldn't get Susan's answer to your question, because I would love to know how it compares. And I also took Susan's point we could just hear, which was that parents of younger children perhaps slightly more prone to overpraising. It's just to get a handle on it. I appreciate the comments. Thank you.
On line 2 is Sandy from Birmingham.
Sandy, good morning.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning. So, what do you think? Should praise be damned?
No, it should all be in context, you know, and everything should be limitations. If you ask a child, they'll know whether they're right or wrong, or whether they're clever or not. I mean, you said initially that, you know, they'll think the world revolves around them. Well, we all believe the world revolves around us. You know, you think that kids and people around who are working with you should do as you say. I think my kids should do what I say. My parents should do what I say. Whoever, you know,
But you would be prepared, Sandy. But Sandy, the point is you would be prepared, as I would be prepared, for the people that I want to do the things I want them to do, to turn around and say, no, right, I'm not going to do it. And I could live with the disappointment, I could live with the sense of rejection. Actually, I couldn't. The sense of pain. But most normal people could. And I think the point here is that Dr. Craig is taking this sort of long-term view that too much positivity without any kind of negativity is going to distort their view of the world.
Well, the children would always have the peer groups to tell them they're wrong.
Yeah.
The adults may be saying one thing, but there will be kids around them who will say they're wrong.
Okay.
We also live in an era of happy slapping, of bullying at school. I mean, yes, it is a tough old world, and the kids are out there as well. They're not. I don't know any of these kids who are completely cotton-wooled.
Can also the other thing, I do think the age is a key thing.
Yeah.
I mean, as your child matures, and once you get into maybe 10 and early teens, then maybe you can sort of. Well, yes, absolutely, you should sort of give them a more rounded view of the world. But I mean, having a daughter at 6, my main problem with her, and I am one of these whoopee parents who'll say, "You're great, you're great, you're great," is that she constantly doubts herself. She's too hard on herself. You know, she doesn't think she's good enough. That's my problem with her.
Where'd she get that from?
Well, goodness knows, but it's not it's not because, I mean, I do say you're great, you're great, you're great, you're great.
But is she?
She's fantastic. I've got some photographs, you can see them after. Yeah, you're going to love it.
That sounds great.
You know, see that nose, if he'd just come up a bit there, it'd be a lot better.
No, when parents come in with Starbucks, precious cargo, it's like, oh, Get it out. Try finishing a book, I'd be more impressed. Parents and their kids, blah, blah, blah. They're monsters till they're 16, right?
And then they're earners, hopefully.
Right, exactly.
Sandy, thank you very much for the call. Let's have another, please, Pollyanna.
We've got Jane from Liverpool on line 3.
Jane, good morning.
Good morning, Matthew.
So,
fantastic programme, by the way.
Thank you very much, including today's. Don't answer. What do we think about Dr. Craig and her research, Jane?
Well, I think it's another one of these things where these specialists come out with every now and then an extreme view of things. I think basically, I use myself as an example. I'm 52 years old. I spent a lifetime with my parents until I moved away when I was 18 to go to college, being basically told I was worthless, and it left me stuck in a dead-end job for 10 years because I would have found it too hard to believe that I was worth
Can I ask?
a higher job.
Can I ask about school? What was school doing for you at this time while your parents were giving you such a rough ride?
Well, that's a bit complicated because I was abused as well, so my schoolwork went downhill. But that's another issue. But in stark contrast to that, my partner, who is also a woman, she was brought up in a Catholic family, and her mother absolutely lavished nothing but praise on her till the day she left home. And she was a very high flyer, high achiever, and to this day, she still, even though we've had lots of knocks in our relationship, she is far better able to cope with those knocks and the world having a go at her than I am, even though I'm a lot better than I used to be. And I feel the same as Kay. I think I genuinely believe there are far more children out there in need of a bit of praise and a bit of bolstering against the world than there are the other types of children. And I think it's all balance. It's just balance. As a parent, I'm not a parent myself, but I believe you should reflect the world at large to your children at an appropriate age.
I think, I mean, every point you make is in itself well-balanced, Jane, and it is a question of balance. It's just the most interesting thing of all, I guess, is trying to find where the fulcrum is.
Yeah, but that story really sums it up to me. It really does. And I think if we're going to talk about all sorts of things we do in this programme and generally sort of public debate, I think we should focus more on kids who are not given a strong enough sense of self-esteem.
Well, I think that's where the government's thinking has come from. I think what Dr. Craig is looking at, and I really do, I think that if we're not careful and it goes too far, the very thing that we brought in to help a significant section of children may end up damaging
but I
an
think
equally
she should
significant
just
section
package her argument differently, and whether or not, you know, a headline has been taken that misrepresents her view, I don't know. But, I mean, I don't think this is a way for this to be packaged.
Okay.
Well, clearly the Catholic Church helped her girlfriend. Her relationship with Jesus has made her a better person.
You really do want every section of society to send you hate mail today.
I'm just saying, Jesus...
I'm not saying anything, because every time I do, a certain Catholic website
Is that the guy that Madonna's going out with?
I say they should forgive me, but
Madonna's
they can't
dating
get
Jesus. We know how hot Jesus was,
exactly.
is. And if Jesus, as hot as he is, approves of you, that's a boost for your self-esteem, right?
Absolutely.
He is.
Absolutely.
He is. No, he's by far the hottest Jew on a cross.
Okay. Can I just say, for the benefit of the Catholic critics watching today, that I didn't say any of that, all right? Scott Capurro, live at the Vauxhall Tavern in South London, from tomorrow night.
Is that a bead of sweat running down the front of your
more than just the
12 years. 12 years.
Scott, enough.
No, okay. Oh! And those priests never came near me. I'm just saying.
Enough.
I'm bitter about that.
After the ads.
We're talking about boosting an ego. That was so hard on mine.
Make him stop.
Did you watch the Thornbirds?
After the ads, are you getting old at 27? Scientists reckon you are. We're not just talking looks here. Oh, no, Scott. Oh, no. Your brain is starting to go into decline when you're 27. This is nonsense, is it not? 0207 173 5555 is the number for your thoughts. Mind you, if you're not starting to go into decline when you're 27, when do you think you are? I'm going to suggest it's when you're 35. We'll find out what you say on the other side of the break. Don't go away.
Who turns 27 this year? Is it Prince William, Billie Piper, or the Cheeky Girls? Find out the answer after the break.